Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We'll just give a few more minutes for everyone to gather, and we'll begin our webinar at 1 p.m. sharp. In the meantime, have a look at the items that you see on the screen. If you haven't already prepared your space to join us for exercise today, now's a good time to do that. Hello again and welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar featuring a gentle chair yoga class. I'll be your monitor for today's session. My name's Jennifer Harris, and I work in the Division of Prevention and Rehabilitation at the University of Ottawa Heart Institute. We are pleased to see so many of you with us today and encourage you to sign up for our HeartWise webinar newsletter to get the latest information on the next webinar. You'll find the link to do that in the chat function. On the last Friday of the month, we do offer a unique chance to try out a HeartWise exercise class led by fitness experts in our own community. This series also continues to offer webinars on a variety of other heart health topics, so we encourage you to check it out. An important message for patients and their caregivers before we begin. If you or your loved one see a change in cardiac symptoms, such as chest pain or angina or unusual shortness of breath, please call your family doctor or the Heart Institute. If you or your loved one need urgent medical attention, please call 911 or go to the nearest emergency rooms. Hospitals and their emergency departments have taken additional measures to ensure the safety of their patients. Please do not ignore heart symptoms and do not be afraid to seek urgent help. A few housekeeping notes before we get started with our class. If you have any technical difficulties, let us know through the chat function. You can use the Q&A function to ask any questions you may have during the webinar. Thank you to those who sent in questions in advance. I will turn it over shortly to Kim and Susan to address some of those before they begin their class. Both the chat and the Q&A button are in the black bar of your Zoom window and will be monitored throughout the class. And we'll take time at the end of the session to answer any questions. We do ask that your questions be general in nature, and if you have a more personal question, contact your healthcare provider. Our session is being recorded and will be available for replay early next week on our website, pwc.ottawaheart.ca. There you can access this 40-minute exercise class, as well as any of the past webinars that we've had. There will also be a short follow-up survey in your browser at the end of the webinar. You're welcome. We welcome your comments, and we do use your feedback to help us improve the educational experiences that we offer. You'll also receive the survey by email one day later in case it does not appear. Now, I would like to introduce our yoga instructors for today. Kim Hanna is a certified yoga and fitness instructor teaching for over 25 years. She has studied and taught a variety of yoga approaches, such as hatha, restorative, and somatic yoga, which has cultivated in her a deep-rooted passion to motivate and guide people to discover movement that is accessible, safe, and effective for their body, regardless of age, fitness level, mobility, or disability. Her motto is live, love, laugh, keep on moving, do it for you. Since March 2020, Kim and Susan Jahudka have partnered to co-teach gentle hatha yoga in a chair and mat classes on Zoom and to support a growing community of yogis on Zoom. Yoga has been a part of Susan's life for more than 15 years, and she has been teaching yoga for the last 5 years, working mostly with older adults and people with mobility issues. She completed a 200-hour registered yoga teacher training in the traditional hatha yoga style. Additionally, she is certified as a yin, restorative, chair, and gentle yoga teacher. Both Kim and Susan are HeartWise exercise trained instructors, and we are very proud to have them as HeartWise exercise partners, as offering yoga classes in the community that are ideal for those with chronic conditions. And we're very grateful to them for offering today's session. I will now pass it over to Susan to let you know a bit more about what is gentle yoga and what you will gain from it.
Thank you, Jennifer, and hi, everyone. So just a few minutes on what is yoga and specifically what's gentle yoga, as well as the benefits of having a regular yoga practice. Yoga's been around for a long time. It's an ancient and complex practice. It's rooted in Eastern Indian philosophy. So although, while it did begin as a spiritual practice, yoga has become more popular as a way of promoting physical and mental health. And there have been many different traditions of yoga, and many different styles of yoga have emerged. For example, today we see power yoga, yin yoga, restorative yoga, yoga for golfers, yoga for curlers, gentle yoga, chair yoga. For goodness sake, you can even do goat yoga if you wanted to. Today we're going to focus on gentle yoga, and gentle yoga is a slower paced hatha-based yoga practice. It uses a chair as a prop for both the seated and the standing portions of the practice. As a matter of fact, the entire practice can be done seated. It is suitable for people of all fitness levels and all ages, but it is probably most suited for people that may have an injury or a disability or a mobility issues, or just really anyone who wants to start a yoga practice that's gentle and safe. So specifically, the gentle yoga classes that you'll be experiencing very shortly, you'll see that it is very much of a mindfulness type of a yoga practice. It includes a breathing practice, a physical practice for strengthening, stretching, and for balance work, as well as a relaxation. So I used to think, before I started practicing yoga, that it was really, you have to be flexible to do yoga. Well, really the truth of it is that yoga is flexible so that anybody can do yoga and benefit from the practice. So the benefits of yoga, and I'm going to touch on 5 areas of benefits, and these are all based on research, so they're well documented. First of all, yoga contributes to healthier hearts by reducing levels of stress and also body-wide inflammation. Second, the physical practice really improves strength, balance, and flexibility. It's not really a cardio type of exercise, yoga. It's really a practice, but it really fits in nicely with any kind of a cardiovascular exercise program or routine that somebody might already have. It's been shown, benefit number 3, to help with pain management. And the research really, it points to the lower back pain that can be resolved through regular yoga practice, as well as arthritic pain. Number 4, it supports mental health. So it helps with stress management. it can help with improving mental focus and as well as quality of sleep. And finally, the last benefit is really the bonus one, is that it can give you more energy and also help to brighten moods. So I could go on, but we're going to get straight to the practice. And the best way for you to know what the benefits are is to try the practice and see for yourself. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to my yoga teacher partner extraordinaire, Kim Hanna, who's going to guide you through a beautiful 40-minute practice. Enjoy your practice, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming out to yoga practice today. And just before we get started, I have a couple of considerations for your practice. We did receive some questions in advance from people concerned about how to know whether the level of exercise is safe for them. For example, if you have shoulder issues, low back pain, hip disabilities, or breathing difficulties like COPD, how do you know that this is going to be a safe class for you? And I just like to say that gentle yoga is, in general, a very safe form of physical exercise. The essence of the practice is mindful awareness. And so, inviting you to be very mindfully aware of how you are feeling throughout the practice and feeling free at any time during your practice to take a pause, to stop, or to change whatever the movement is, or perhaps the breathing rhythm might be, so that you are feeling really comfortable throughout the practice. We want it to be an enjoyable experience for you and a comfortable one. So please listen to your body and do what you need to do throughout the practice. A couple of more things then, as you prepare your space, you gather your items. Please have a safe space to move in. Clear out any trip hazards that might be there. There will be some standing options, but you can do the whole practice seated if you prefer. Please, everyone, have a sturdy chair, no wheels, and preferably that your feet will touch some kind of solid support, whether it's the ground or blocks or a wheelchair support if you're using a wheelchair device. Appropriate footwear like running shoes, water bottle, sip on water throughout the practice as you need it. A cell phone would be good to have close by, and or please let someone know that you are exercising. So I hope you enjoy your practice today, and I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer to give one more disclaimer, and then we'll get started.
Thanks, Kim. And so, yes, we do have the disclaimer, which I'll take a moment to read. As with any exercise program, you should consult your physician or other healthcare professional before starting this or any other virtual workout to determine if it's right for your needs. Do not start these exercises if your physician or other healthcare provider advises against them. The information presented in this video is intended for a general audience and is not a substitute for, nor does it replace, professional medical advice. The performance of the activities in the videos is solely at your own risk. The University of Ottawa Heart Institute is not responsible for any injury or harm you sustain as a result of your attempt to perform the activities in the videos. If you experience dizziness, pain, or shortness of breath at any time while exercising, you should stop immediately. If you are in Canada and think you are having a medical or health emergency, call your healthcare professional or 911 immediately. And so with that, we'll now begin our yoga class. Enjoy.
Welcome everyone to Gentle Yoga. Please come into your practice finding a comfortable seat on your chair, preferably being a little bit forward from the back of your chair. So scooch maybe a little bit forward. Feel your feet firm to the ground, knees above your heels, knees in front of your hips. Feel firmly grounded into your sit bones on the bottom of your chair. Gently press your feet and your sit bones downwards and find a bit of muscular energy to lengthen up through your spine, tall posture, lengthen the back of your neck. Draw the chin back slightly so the ears are lined up best you can above your shoulders. Take a big breath in and bring both shoulders up. And as you slowly breathe out, release, relax them downwards, soften a little bit through your spine. We begin by arriving into this moment, becoming a little more present to our bodies, connecting mind into body, and becoming aware of how you are right now. Inviting you in your practice to practice in a way that honors yourself. It recognizes any limitations you may have, any injuries you may have, and just practicing in a way that feels good for you, not creating pain, not creating any signs of unease within yourself. Our practice today is going to focus on yoga for a healthy spine. There's a saying in yoga that you are as young and healthy as your spine is strong and flexible. And so a healthy spine is like the fountain of youth, forever young, fountain of youth. That's the theme for today. I invite you to set an intention for your practice, that you intend to be mindful of your posture, of your spinal alignment and posture throughout your practice. So let's begin with that, becoming aware of your spinal posture. Really important to maintain a good spinal posture. It helps us to create space for the breath, the diaphragm breathing muscle, and the lungs to fill with air, the breath to flow freely, bringing oxygen, nourishment to the body, prana energy, that life force energy. So let's begin to cultivate a breath. If it feels comfortable for you, breathing in and out through the nose. Allow the belly to expand, and if you choose, you can place one or both hands on the lower belly below the navel as you breathe in. Expand like a balloon, inflating with air in all directions. Easy breath in. And as you breathe out, with a little bit of muscular effort, deflate that little balloon. Draw the belly in. Notice the muscular contraction. And when you are ready to breathe in, allow the belly to expand. The diaphragm moves downwards, gently pushing the organs forwards. As you breathe out, use a little bit of muscular action. So there are important muscles, layers of muscles that are connected to our diaphragm that provide support and strength to our pelvis and to our lower back. And to help connect our awareness into these muscles, we'll use the example of putting on a very tight pair of high-waisted pants with a zipper. So breathing in, just allow the belly to expand, and as you breathe out, imagine you're zipping those high-waisted pants up, feeling the pelvic floor lift, the belly draw in, snug it in, and zip up all the way up to the lower ribs. And then as you breathe in, release. Breathing out, increase those natural contractions of the muscles of the pelvic floor, the lower abdominals, lower back muscles as you breathe out. And as you breathe in, relax. Good. One more. Zip up as you breathe out. And breathe in to relax. Let the arms come down by your sides. When you're ready, just give them a shake. So often when we're seated during the day, there's a lot of pull of gravity onto our spine, a lot of downward pressure, and we tend to slump and round forward into those chairs. Please don't do what I'm doing. And that limits, restricts the ability of the diaphragm to move through a full range of motion, get a full breath. And it means that our upper chest and shoulder muscles tend to help us try and breathe. So muscles up here can get very tight. So let's begin by loosening up and bringing some blood flow to the muscles of the shoulders and the neck. Imagine you have a round clock in front of your face. Cast your gaze towards the bridge of your nose and slowly begin to roll a circle. Maybe it's a small circle. Maybe the chin comes down towards the chest, perhaps not lifting the chin too high, just to protect the neck and the precious vessels, blood vessels and nerve vessels in the back of the neck. You might hear a little crunchy, crinkly, and crepitus
noises as we floss across the bones of the neck, the vertebrae. And then change directions when you're ready, a couple of circles in the other direction. And finish the circle with the chin down. Allow your arms to come by your side. When you're ready to take a breath in, press your feet down, lift both shoulders up to your ears, let your eyes roll up, your chin lifts slightly, and as you breathe out, eyes, chin, shoulders down. Good. Take a breath in, press the feet down, shoulders, eyes up. And as you breathe out, relax and soften down. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in, lifting up, and breathing out, softening down. Good. Bring the chin back up. Take a breath in to feel that axial extension, the upward lengthening of the spine, and as you breathe out, tilt your head to one side. Breathe in to lengthen, and breathe out to tilt. One more time to each side. Good. Bring the head up when that feels complete. Let's bring both arms forward. Give some wiggle into the fingers. And then make a gentle fist and draw your thumb way over to your pinky, as far across as you can towards your pinky. Hitchhike your fingers. We're going to open one at a time, beginning with the thumb, and hold it up straight as you can. Open your first finger, keep it there straight as you can. Middle finger, here's where it gets a little tricky to bring the ring finger out. Often the pinky wants to go along. Stretch both those arms out to the side. Good. A little bit of life force energy, like you've got little Shazam lightning bolts coming out your fingers. Good. Fingers are spread wide, straight. Let's turn your right palm up to the sky and your left palm down. We're going to do some head turns and hand flips. So look towards your right palm that's facing up. Good. As you take a breath in, turn your head and flip your palms the other way. Take a breath in and out, flip the palms, turn the head. And flip. Still reaching out the arms and flip. Really wringing through those muscles overlapping from the neck and the shoulders. Good. Now keep both palms down, bring the head forward, and get really fluid and loose, as if you're in a tug of war here. Reach side to side, feel your rib cage move one side to the other, reach and stretch. Good. Yes. And then begin to reach up a little bit on a diagonal, whatever is comfortable in your shoulders. Just be kind to your shoulders. Maybe reach up high like you're climbing up a vine, getting taller, pulling yourself up. Good. Yeah, feel the sides of your ribs stretch, and then over diagonally again. Out to the sides, tug of war. Good. And then imagine the horse got out of the barn and you're pulling the reins in. So pull the horse back into the barn. Getting very fluid, getting the blood flow to the muscles of the shoulders and the shoulder girdle that attaches to your upper back. Good. And then bring them down, give them all a good shake. Shake it out. Let's do more movement now for the spine, and we're going to use an analogy called the compass. So a compass is that little round device that points us in a direction, and there's 4 directions on the compass. There's a north, a south, an east, and a west, and then that compass needle can twist and twist. So we're going to use that as a reminder to move our spine in all the directions of movement. So north, we draw the hands towards the hips, we lift the heart up, and it's like you're arching, creating an arch through your back. A bit of an arch lift. And then the south is a little bit of a rounding. Be mindful if you have osteoporosis or if you have disc issues, maybe you're not doing a big round, but if you're comfortable rounding through your spine, round forward, south, and then come up. I'm going to turn forward, and we go east and west, side to side, east and west. Good. And then we twist, just like the compass, one side and twist to feel our best. Let's try that again. North, south, Come up tall, east and west, twist, twist to feel our best. One more time. North, south, east, west, twist and twist to feel our best. So especially when we're seated, gravity has a lot of downward pull on our spine and compresses our spine. So it's really, really important to move all those directions of your spine several times a day. As long as you're not creating pain, it should be very good kind of movement for you. Let's find a little bit of movement into the hips. We're going to lift one knee up and see if you can even scooch your buttock up off the chair, maybe even walk to the front of your chair. Good, and then walk to the back of your chair. And we're glad that we're only doing walking like this in yoga. Okay, and then just take it to a power march. We get some blood flow into the hips as we warm up into the joints of the lower body. Good. Hold the legs still and windshield wiper the legs a little bit side to side. And then bring the legs into stillness. Take the fabric of one leg and draw it up. Maybe take the hands behind that leg. Still sit tall, mindful of not rounding forward through the spine. Sitting tall. Lower that knee down and out to the side and up and around. Let's do 2 more circles in this direction. And when the knee is down, change directions. Circle it around the other way. Doesn't have to be a big circle. And one more. Good. And let that foot come down. Other side. Draw the knee up. Sitting tall. Maybe the hands come under your thigh. And then lower it down. Take it out and around, whichever way you'd like to start your circle. And when the foot is downwards, change directions. Let's do 3 circles in the other direction. Good. And release the feet down. A little bit of brain switching. So having a good aligned posture helps our spine be aligned. That means that our limbs, our arms and our legs can move better, in better alignment as well. And it also means that the spinal cord, the nervous energy that flows from our brain through our spinal cord and out the spinal nerves to all of our organs and elsewhere in our body are healthy. Those nerves are not pinched. So we've created this tall posture. We're going to create a nice flow of energy here by stimulating, doing something called brain switching. This is really good for functions of the brain and coordination as well. So we're going to do 2 different movements that are going to be challenging. Perhaps one set of movements might be more challenging than the other. It's not about whether you get the movements, whether your body does it. It's just trying it that creates the benefits. It's creating neural connections, connections of the nerves, mind into body. So let's begin. We're going to warm up the fingers. You can see the wrists are bent and the toes on both feet are pulled up nice and strong. Good. And then we're going to flip and see if you can do this now without looking at your hands or feet. And flip again, up and down. So we're not using our visual field to send information to our brain. We're trying to use our internal nervous system and the sensations within the body, communications. Okay, check your homework now. Stop. Are your fingers and toes going in the same direction? Okay, let's make it a little more difficult. The toes are down, the fingers are up, and then we're going to flip. Brain switching. Brain switching. And let's try one more to stop. And are they going in opposite directions? Check your homework. Nobody knows, right? Only you know. Okay. Circle the wrists, circle the ankles, stay tall when those feet are off the ground. You need your core. Yes, and then just run it all out, shake it all out. One more brain switching to help warm up the hips and release through the shoulders a little bit. So the movement of the legs is to slide the feet out and bring them back in. So you're using the back of your buttocks, the back of the hips to contract and open and the inner hips to close. Good. That's the legs. Arms, it's going to be a shoulder roll. So either arms hang by your side, or if it's comfortable, bring your fingers comfortably up. And the elbows come forward and back and down. forward and side and back and down. So these elbows are like chicken wings. So here's the chicken wing movement. When the elbows are out, the legs are out. And as the elbows come in, the knees come in. Knees are out, elbows out, knees in. Nice slow circles. Good. Oh, lots happening here. You might find you're getting a little bit warmer. Okay, how's that working for you? Keep the elbows out, bring the knees in. Here's a brain switch for you. As the elbows come in, the knees go out. And as the elbows go out, the knees come in. Try not to use your eyes. Good. And one more, check your work. Good job. Shake it out. Okay, a little bit of core strengthening here, a little bit more core strengthening. Even though you're seated and you're using your core muscles to support your spine, good posture, we're going to challenge them a little bit more. Invisible rocking chair. So have your feet grounded, knees above heels and knees in front of hips, sitting tall on those sit bones. You can take your hands to the chair just to support your spine nice and tall to begin with. Bring the chin down slightly. So imagine you're in a rocking chair, but there's no back to your rocking chair. So slowly take a breath in just until you feel all the muscles around the lower abdominals perhaps engage. Keep you from touching the back of the chair. And as you breathe out, zip up those high-waisted tight pants. Good. Inhale. And back. And breathe out. Zip up the high-waisted pants. Good. Option with the hands on the legs will make it a little more challenging. Option with the arms across the shoulders, even more challenged for your core muscles to work. And last one, inhale and exhale, come back. Take your hands and forearms on top of your legs. Tilt forward best you can with a long spine. As we bring the body parallel to the ground, gravity is no longer compressing our spine downwards, and it helps to relax the muscles. So take an opportunity here to take a couple of nice, deep, nourishing breaths. In and out. And then to come up safely to support your spine, place your hands on your thighs, push up with your arms, come up nice and slow. You have an option now to move into standing practice for some leg strength, core strength, and balance work, as well as a yoga flow. So the options will be to stand for some or none or all of the standing portion. If our first strengthening is going to be standing up from the chair, from a sit to a stand. Really important exercise to do every day to maintain strength of your legs and your hips. If you prefer to sit and not stand up from your chair, the option is to kick both legs up while sitting up really tall. Good. Okay, so that's your option if you're going to stay seated. If you're going to stand, scooch to the front of your chair. Tall posture, lean forward a little bit, and let's see if it's possible to do 8. You can always take a pause if you want. So take a breath in. As you breathe out, press the feet down, come up nice and slow up, and nice and slow down. Good. There's 2. If your knees are a little tender, you can always try taking the legs a little bit wider, see what that does for you. 3, 4, if you're tiring of standing up, maybe go to the chair option of kicking both legs up. This is your yoga. 6, 7, and 8. Good, come on up. Good, and if you're seated, you're going to march out. If you're standing, just march the legs out. If you're standing, please come around to the back of your chair. I'm going to turn my chair sideways so that you can see on my camera. Let's come into standing mountain pose or seated mountain pose. Heels are firm to the ground. You're going to press the feet down and feel the muscles of your legs become a little bit more engaged. Lengthen the spine up, maybe roll the shoulders back. Feel a nice tall posture. Just see what that feels like for you. Good tall posture. If you're standing, you're going to hover the hands over the chair as we come into 2-foot balance practice, lifting both heels at the same time. If that's too much off balance for you, just lift one heel. and then the other heel. Good. Let's press down into the base of the big toe is often a good point of balance. Lift both heels and slowly lower down. We do 7 more. Lift up. Making this a challenge, but not so challenging that you feel at a risk for falling. Maybe the hands are not even touching the chair. Engaging the core, that inner lift and zip. This is an easy one you can practice at home every day. So good for balance and leg strength and ankle strength. And 1 more up. Good. And then just march the feet out. We're going to do a dynamic movement with a traditional yoga pose called warrior pose. So if you're standing in your mountain pose, step your left foot back as far as you're comfortable. See if you can press your heel to the ground, but if your heel needs to stay up, that's okay. You may choose to turn that back foot out slightly if that feels more comfortable. And when you bend the front knee, you can still see your toes in front of the knee. So you don't want the knee way past the toes. That will stress it. So that's a warrior pose standing. Warrior pose sitting is the same. Similar, your left foot is forward. Okay, so coming into warrior, we're going to add a flying warrior. So if you feel balanced, reach your left arm forward or maybe upwards. I'm going to take a breath in. And as you breathe out, we're going to tilt from where your leg bones come into your hips. Maintain your spinal posture and breathe in to come up. So as you breathe out, zip up the pants, tilt, keep your core strong, breathe in. You can always have both hands on the chair or on your legs if you want. And rise up and release that down. Let's repeat that on the other side. Stepping your right leg back, or if you're seated, your right leg is forward. Good. Maybe angle the toes out. Just check when you bend. If you're standing, that front knee, you can still see your toes in front. You can either have both hands on the chair or bring that right arm up. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, zip up the jeans and sweep that arm back. Bend from the hips. Breathe in and bend. Maintain that posture best you can. Breathe in and bend. And breathe in and rise up. Good. March the legs out. Nicely done. So our last strengthening coordination balance practice is going to be moving to music, to the song Forever Young by Rod Stewart. You're welcome to stand or sit for the movements, and I'm going to just run through the basic movements of the flow with you. And the intention again is always being mindful of your spinal alignment as you move, right? Often when we're moving, we forget. We're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll get it over there. And so we want to be really mindful of a nice, good, strong posture. So the first movement is a knee up. A little bit of balance practice. You want to have a chair there if you need to. And if you can, touch opposite hand to opposite knee. Good for the brain and all that nervous system. So we do 4 of those. Knee up and tap. And then we circle the arms. So we get tall through the spine and we bend. Come tall and bend. This is like the sunshine. And then sometimes we just got to play in the rain. Your fingers are drizzling and you're just going to play in the rain, right? Forever Young is about playful, youthful spirit. Good. So that's the first part to that one. We're going to reach across and up. And other side, across and up. 2 more times, cross and up. Reach. Reach and add a leg. So as you reach, stretch that toe out. A little bit of balance practice to the side here. And reach. Good. Reach. Nice and long and strong through spine. Good. Now upper back strength. Arms come out and we pull the elbows back 4 times. Pull, cross, and pull, cross and pull. And to finish it all off, forever young, add a turn, nice and slow, and come back, and add a turn, nice and slow, and come back. There's one part of the musical bridge where we do something called wipe the table. So we bend the knees, we tilt forward, engage the core, and reach as if you're wiping across the table. And then reach the other way, wipe across the table. Good, so we'll do a few of those. That's basically the dance. I'll get the music. So, okay, nice tall posture, mindful awareness, how you're moving, have fun. Please start with the knees up 4 times. Whichever leg, knee up.
May the good Lord be with you down every road you roll.
Circle the
And may
arms, stand.
sunshine and happiness surround you when you're far from home.
Play in the rain, drizzle. Reach
And may you
across,
grow to be proud,
reach across.
dignified
Reach.
and true.
Add the leg.
And do unto others as you'd have done to you.
Cross and pull.
Be courageous and be brave. And in my heart you'll always stay.
Twist.
Forever young, forever young.
Left. Start again.
May good fortune be with you. May your guiding light be strong.
Circle the arms.
Build a stairway to heaven, where the prince or a vagabond.
Reach
And may
across.
you never love in vain. And in my heart you will remain.
Add the leg.
Forever young, forever young, forever young,
Cross and pull. Twist. Come back. Wipe the table. Forward. One more time from the start. Knees up.
And when you finally fly away, I'll be hoping that I served you well.
Circle your
For
arms.
all the wisdom I've learned, no one can ever take.
Play in the rain. Reach
But
up.
whatever road you choose, I'm right behind you. When you're
Add the leg.
forever young, forever young, forever young,
Pull.
forever young.
Twist. Circle the arms up. Reach tall. Twist and play. Drizzle. One more. Circle up. Well done. I hope you had fun with that. It's important in whatever we do in life is to have a little bit of fun. I invite you to come back, mindfully sitting down into your chair if you're not there already. Reset yourself into your seat. Maybe move a little bit more forward. So in the last few minutes of our practice, we'll cool down and do a little bit of stretching. Either shifting over to one side of your chair, hold the chair, see if it's available to set one knee down towards the ground to open up through that hip. Bending across the knees, stretching the quadriceps. Good, take that same shoulder and roll it back and down, just release. Good. Take a nice big deep breath in and out. And then bring that leg forward, scooch over to the other side of your chair. Hold it to counterbalance. Lower the knee down. Roll that shoulder up and back and down and around. Good. Let the arm be still. Take a big breath in and out. And bring the leg forward. And all the way forward. Walk both knees over to one side. A little bit of a twist while your shoulders are staying forward and your knees are going on an angle. Just to stretch into that hip a little bit. Good. Either keep the hand by the chair or maybe up to the shoulder, lift the elbow. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, a little bit of stretch way over to the side. Breathe in to get tall, and breathe out, stretch. Good. Now reach up if that's available and come forward a little bit. Nice, and release down. Release the legs over to the other side, both feet to the ground, shoulders are still coming forward. A bit of stretch into that outer hip. Arm can be by the side with a bend or to the shoulder. Take a breath in to be tall. As you breathe out, tilt away. Breathe in to be tall. Tilt away. One more, breathe in. Maybe reach the arm up, arc it over, and just come slightly forward. You might feel a nice stretch below the bottom of the rib cage. Then come up. Forward with the legs. Lengthen them out, let your toes relax downwards. Hold the chair, tall spine. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Tilt forward and draw the chin back to downward facing dog. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out. One more breath. And then rise up. Slide your heels below your knees. Settle back into your chair. Bring the arms out and in front, and if it's available, crisscross one elbow on top of the other and relax your hands to your shoulders. Still lift tall through your spine, but now let your chin come down slightly. And breathe into the space at the back of your shoulders. Good. And then release the arms down. Circle. Our final few minutes of the class is always a practice we call Shavasana, a pose of stillness. You can rest your hands on your legs or your palms up. Relax through your upper body and set your upper body into the chair. Just allow that to support you now so that all of your posture muscles can relax, soften. This is the time it's believed that all the benefits of your practice absorb into you. All your efforts of movement, your efforts of breathing, your effort of mindfulness, awareness, your efforts of brain switching, trying something new, acts of courage, all of that good stuff coming into you now, nourishing you, replenishing, restoring. Allow the breath to flow freely. Just for one more minute, pause in stillness. Let's deepen the breath now to bring a little more energy into the body and find some small movements, whatever feels organic, spontaneous. Maybe roll your wrists, Roll your ankles, roll your shoulders, roll your face, roll your eyeballs. Good. And then take a big stretch up and up. Take up all the space in the universe. Good. Give yourself a hug. Tell yourself how well you did today. Send gratitude to yourself for coming to practice and showing up. Palms to heart center. Send that gratitude back to yourself. And I thank you for letting me guide you today. The light of life in me recognizes and bows to that very same light of life in each of you. Namaste.
Wonderful. Thank you so much to Kim and Susan for sharing their yoga practice with us. And we hope that you all enjoyed that as well. I did want to take a moment while you take the time to ask some questions if you'd like to, that you can connect with Susan and Kim on their in their yoga community. The website is at the bottom of the screen, and I think we'll also have it in the chat section. And they welcome you to check out what they have to offer on an ongoing basis. We also have Heartwise Exercise online offerings that you can find out more about through the heartwiseexercise.ca website. So we will take the chance to answer some questions now. And I see that we have one here. What should I do when I get a muscle spasm? Would either of you like to address that? I thank you, Kim and Susan, for joining us again.
Yes, thanks, Jennifer. Yes, muscle spasms can happen for different reasons, and it's your muscles speaking to you that they need something. And it can be a challenge sometimes to figure out just what they need in the moment. So, generally, just stop whatever you were doing when that spasm started. Pay attention to it, notice what it's feeling like, maybe rubbing it out a little bit or finding a little bit of sometimes shaking a little bit through the part of the body that's having the spasm might help. Often keeping hydrated well before exercise and during and after exercise sometimes helps maybe prevent spasms as well.
Great, thank you. And agree, that's keeping hydrated and paying attention to what your body is telling you are great suggestions. I think we have another question. Let me just have a look here. Are we able to access Kim's yoga session to practice on our own? So certainly this video Kim has graciously shared with us, and that will be available on our website next week. And certainly there is an opportunity for you to check out the rest of their offerings. I don't know, Kim and Susan, if you'd like to share a little bit about what you have.
Sure, I can take that question. So we're currently offering 2 gentle yoga classes similar to what Kim just did a week, and they're on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10:30 till 11:30. They're 1 hour long and they're on Zoom, and those are on the chair with standing options. And we also have one gentle mat yoga class that we offer on Wednesdays from 11 o'clock to noon. So that one, you really have to be able to get down onto a mat and get back up.
And to complement the practice, the more active practice, on Mondays, I offer a free half-hour guided meditation and breathing practice. So time for people to join in on Zoom and just de-stress and be with community.
Wonderful. Now we've had a question as well asking about what happens if your arms are too short to reach the chair to hold on to. Do you just not worry about that part?
An option is to use a chair with arms. So what's most important if you're practicing in a chair is that you don't feel at risk for falling. And that's why we have the option to use the arms to hold on to the chair. So it might be practicing with a chair that has arms that are within reach, or just being very mindful and cautious moving side to side, or your range of movement on the chair, so that you don't have a fall.
Thank you. We do often get questions about, how yoga practice fits into, the physical activity recommendations that we do give for patients with heart disease. And as you can see, we encourage it very much so as part of your regular routine. Also, as of course, we want you to try and include some aerobic exercise where you are doing some easy walking or cycling or skiing, whatever your body allows, as well as perhaps some muscle strengthening exercises each week. So absolutely, yoga plays a great part in that overall routine. And it looks like we have time for one more question, and I will perhaps I'll have our colleague re-enter the HeartWise exercise website in the browser if someone's having trouble accessing that, or in the chat section. And a last question that I think one of our experts can answer: if one has trouble getting out of a chair without armrests, does this get better with practice?
I'm always hopeful that we can improve strength, and it takes time. It takes practice to keep at it. And there's always options to build, for example, leg and hip strength that don't require you to get up immediately from a chair. It's always, I think, surprises people in our classes just how physical we can be and how much strengthening we can do while seated in a chair. There are a lot of options.
Absolutely. And certainly we do find that when you have the chance to repeat the movements, it does usually get better, but not always. A final question before we move on to our closing remarks. What time on Monday, Kim, did you say your sessions were at? Oh, somebody's posted them in the chat. That's wonderful. So those meditation Monday, 11:30 to 12. Gentle chair for strength and balance on Tuesdays and Thursdays between 10:30 and 11:30, as well as 11 to 12 on Wednesdays. So thank you again so much to both Kim and Susan. And we will just move. I just wanted to share with you that February is Heart Month. And of course, that's just around the corner. And we have a couple of things for you to take advantage of if you'd like to. First of all, we do have a Canadian Women's Heart Health Summit. Registration is currently open. The summit is from February 10th to 13th virtually, and you'll be able to participate in over 19 hours of learning and engagement with Canadian and international experts in women's heart health. There's both live and on-demand options. And although this is a medical conference, all are welcome: healthcare providers, trainees, and women with lived experience. So we'll put that link in the chat if you'd like to find out more about that. And I'd also like to let you know that Wear Red Canada Day is February 13th. This is a really exciting opportunity to come together, even in our own activities that we do that day, by wearing red to raise awareness for women's heart health. This day is celebrated annually across Canada to raise awareness. And because of this year's virtual aspects, you can really do anything you like on your own. Simply take pictures of yourself and or your activities that you're maybe doing wearing red, post them, and use some of the hashtags that you see there on the slide. You can find out a lot more about that at the wearredcanada.com website. So we hope you might join us in some of those exciting activities as well. So finally, thank you again to everyone for being with us today. A special thanks again to Kim and Susan. And we look forward to being with you again at our next webinar. And finally, don't forget that there will be a survey that pops up in your browser, and or you'll receive an email after the fact, so you can give us feedback on our session. Have a wonderful day, and thank you again.